Maison Des Champs knew he would likely be arrested once he reached the top of the New York Times building in Manhattan on Thursday, but he was at peace with that. He had been arrested just 2 days earlier after solo climbing the Salesforce Tower in San Francisco. Surprisingly, the police were nowhere to be found when he finished his climb that morning. Des Champs hightailed it out of there, racing down some 52 flights of stairs in climbing shoes before he slipped out through an emergency exit. The only physical evidence of his trespass were a couple banners Des Champs had hung above the New York Times sign on the front of the building. One read, "Abortion kills more than 9/11 every week." Some days Des Champs is a 22-year-old finance student at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas who enjoys spending his free time hunting and rock climbing. Other days he can be found scaling skyscrapers, free soloing, climbing without a rope and harness, to raise money for groups that work to convince women to not have abortions. His chosen type of activism tends to get him into trouble. Before he was arrested in San Francisco, he was arrested while climbing the Aria Hotel in Las Vegas last summer. He was protesting COVID restrictions on that climb. Climbing has a history of not asking permission. "We have, I guess, an outlaw tradition," he told NPR. "So, we tend not to ask permission. We tend to just do what our heart tells us to do." When he climbs these buildings, he does so without the aid and protection of ropes, a harness and other gear. This method of climbing, known as free soloing, is incredibly dangerous. Even a slight miscalculation or a poorly placed hand or foot can result in falling to one's death. That being the case, Des Champs carefully chooses what buildings to climb. "When you climb skyscrapers," he says, "you have to pick out something that's realistic and way under your skill level.